Good morning. My name is Francisco Rodriguez. I've been a JS analyst with DCR for about 2 years and a half now. I'm really excited to showcase something that we've been working on really hard, and that's the Green Docket permitting work process. Hopefully, do a good job here going through what the website's like. So, all right, thank you. Before we begin, one of the first things I will advise you to do is to create a shortcut to the website that Priscilla will be giving out to you the link. We'll go here to our desktop and click on the shortcut, and it'll take us to the Green Docket website. So this is the Green Docket. So Green Docket has about 6 tabs. The Green Docket Submit a Project tab, the Review Status Checker, Reviewers, the Green Tracker Update a Project, Summaries and Visualization, and Help. The beginning of the Green Docket process starts as soon as you click on the shortcut on your desktop, and you'll see a Welcome to Green Docket banner, and then we can just jump right in. So let's see here. I'm gonna put myself as the project manager. And this should only take you about 10 to 15 minutes. We really worked hard to try to make it as simple as possible. And let me just put in my email address, mass.gov. Any consultants that I've worked with for this particular project, in this case, we'll leave it blank. The number of DCR sites. You'll probably just use one, but in conversations with some of our subject matter experts, they advise us that in some cases projects could happen up to 4 sites. So as you can see here, if I click on 2 sites, you'll have 2 areas where you can throw in DCR sites, which are parks, state forests. If I click on 3, you'll see that. And if I click on 4, and these are all drop-down values, so I can click that. I can click Neponset, River Reservation, etc. But in our case, we're just going to use one here, and we're going to go to Beaver Brook. So let's go to Beaver Brook Reservation. Our project name is something that we want to sort of mention the fact that it's in the Beaver Brook, and it'll be brief, and we'll say Stonewall Rehabilitation. The next part of the survey or the form here is that you'll see your project funding sources. We have everything from DCR capital to operating, so please select what is appropriate to your project. In the project ID field, this is for any project ID that you have been given by the finance docket. It's just a good way of keeping track and create cohesiveness throughout the organization. So if you have it, great, type it in. If you don't, just leave it blank. Project description, it's up to 500 characters here. So we're just gonna include something brief about the work that we're gonna be doing at Beaver Brook. And in the project description, we want to emphasize things that might be related to either ecology, waterways, or cultural resources. So we're just gonna type in historical stone wall replacement at Beaver Brook. And then we'll go into the next part where we want to give it a location. So we'll type in Beaver Brook up here in the search bar. And we'll type in Waltham. And looks like we found Beaver Brook Road. So right now I'm holding down Control and then zooming out with the mouse wheel. So you can see here I can zoom in or out. And I think we're gonna put the point here. I'll click on the screen. And as you can see, this is where the location of your project is gonna take place. Wherever the blue dot or blue marker is, that's where the project will take place. And then you have your decimal degree coordinates here. You can also, if you have your decimal degrees, type them in here, and then the map will center to that particular point that you've just dropped. Then we go into our permitting compliance section, where you can select the permits that are relevant to your project. So in this case, we're just gonna go with the MHC project notification form and the NOI here. And in this case, the project will not trigger MEPA, so we'll just hit no. So we won't have to upload any MEPA certificate if it's available. All right. And now we should upload any documentation that is relevant to your project. So this includes plans, basically anything that will facilitate the ability of the subject matter experts to expedite the review of your particular project. So we're going to go into uploading a document for the Green Docket here. Documents should be relevant to your project, and it should make it easier for your reviewers to approve your project for Green Docket. So this includes everything from plans to notices of intent for the WPA. And just a quick note, anything larger than 8x5 and 11 should be printed and hand delivered to the reviewer to facilitate their review of details in the plan. You have up to 10 megabytes of space here per every upload document section, so you have a total of 40 megabytes, and we have a NOI here so you can see how much space you have to upload a blank one. That's about 308. That's not even a megabyte of space, so it's upwards of 11 pages. So you can see that you can also upload other documentation that you might need. All right, and then after that we'll hit submit. And you're done, at least with the first part. So the moment you hit the submit button, an email gets generated to the reviewers. So that's Ecology, Waterway, and Cultural Resources. People like Nancy Putnam, Greg Robin. And then the email that gets generated will look something like this. So at the top, the email will say DCR Green Docket, ma@gmail.com. The subject line will be project submitted, and it'll have your project name. So Beaverbrook Stone Rehabilitation. It'll have our DCR logo. It'll have Green Docket, who it was submitted by, so in this case it would be you. The funding source, the permits that you selected that you might need, so in this case MHC, the project notification form, and an NOI. The project site, which is Beaverbrook Reservation, and then description you submitted, historical stone wall replacement at Beaverbrook. So in your case, as project managers, the only thing that you have to worry about in this email is the general information of the project and the status of your review. So the status of review is important. This is where you'll be able to check where the reviewers are with your project. Do they have enough information, and has your project been forwarded to Green Docket? Here you'll be able to see that your project was submitted, any comments that reviewers might have, and the date that it was that your project has been given for a Green Docket review. This is the review status checker. It has a dynamic link to your project the moment from your email. So as you can see here, if I just click on it, it'll take you straight to the status, the review status of your project. You can see the date you submitted it and all the other information that was in the email. You can see what the status is for ecologies, waterways, and cultural resources. And then in the bottom of the email, it'll give them links to your particular project and the review panel. They would designate where your project is in terms of the review and any additional comments they might have for you. So I'm going to click here in the bottom of the email. So if I'm an ecology, if I'm Nancy Putnam, I'm going to click here and it'll take me to the review panel for your project. You can see here, there's a review panel. Here's your project at Beaverbrook. Here, it's general information about your project, your permitting information, your description, and I can also see the other people, your other statuses are relevant, waterways and cultural resources, so that we can coordinate the workflows between all the three groups. So I'm going to go ahead and review this particular project. I just click on it. I'm going to go ahead and say, we need more information about this project. Please reach out to me. Need more information about plans. I can see you've submitted your NOI already. I'm going to look through it. And then I'm going to go back here to my review panel. Okay. And then I'm just going to hit save. And this will turn red because I need more information from you for that. So then we go back here to your review status checker and I refresh it. I'm going to go ahead and look for my name, enter my project name, and you can see here that Ecology has told me that it needs more information, and its comments are, please reach out to me, need more information about plans. So this all happens in real time. And so, yeah, I would, encourage you to, about a week after you submit your Green Docket initial form, that you check the review status checker so that you can see where your project is at. And you also have the email where all the reviewers are, so if there's something's going on, you can easily email them too to see what kind of information they need. So it's all to increase the transparency of the Green Docket process. So each review team will assign you a Green Docket date for the review of your project. And the way that they'll do that is that they'll also go into the review panel and select Approve for Green Docket, and we'll just say that this is from comments from 12/1, and then we're gonna approve you for Green Docket for next Monday, and we'll hit save. If I'm a project manager and I want to check the status of my project, I got them the information that they needed. I talked to the reviewer, which in this case would be Nancy. And as you can see, that she approved my project for Green Docket. Those comments were addressed, and the project was forwarded for a Green Docket date of 12/9/2019. There's a quick note that we have to make. You're not approved for Green Docket until you receive an email confirmation that your project has been placed on the Green Docket agenda. You've done Green Docket, you got approved. Key component of the Green Docket process or the website will be, tracking that permitting and compliance information. And that's really critical here. You're gonna go into the Green Tracker, and this is the place where you're gonna be uploading your order of conditions, telling us the date that it expired. If we click here, this will be the Green Tracker. So your step one will always be to enter your name and your project name. So your project name is going to be critical throughout the whole process, because that's how viewers will know your project. That's how you'll be looking up your project in the different dashboards. So in my case, I'm going to look for my project here, and it'll automatically filter the projects that I have. It'll go to Beaver Brook, select it. As you can see, it populated the information in real time. The tracker is separated into three parts: your project information on the left, your permit information in the middle, and any permitting and compliance documents that you might have uploaded to the Green Tracker. So you'll see project description and the permits that I submitted that I might need. So this is MH project notification form and the NOI. And then we have a map here of where your project is, just for some geographical reference. And we can see that the permit fields here are blank, because you haven't submitted any permitting compliance information here. So we're gonna go ahead and do that right now. You got your order of conditions. Let's update that. The form here will automatically pull your answers that you initially submitted from your permits. As you can see, it populated MHC and NOI. You won't be able to select any other ones, and we'll show you later on how to add permits to this form. And then I'll go ahead and fill out my project notification form for the MHC permit and say, okay, so I submitted that permit on the 29th. Was the decision issued at this point? We're gonna say yes. Did the project result in a memorandum of agreement? No, none. And we haven't received the MHC review letter, so we'll leave that blank for now. And next, we're gonna go into our NOI. So we submitted that about, on the 19th of November. It was approved. The decision was issued by the Conservation Commission on the 25th of November. We registered it in the Registry of Deeds on the 26th. And the expiration date be in the future, next March 24th. And no. And we'll leave that blank. And here we're gonna upload our order of conditions. And we'll hit submit. Great. And now we'll refresh our Green Tracker dashboard. And again, step one will always be to, search for your name. Beaver Brook, And as you can see, the permitting information that you just submitted was populated into the permit information. So the date it was submitted to the Conservation Commission, was the project approved, your expiration date for your order of conditions, and on the right here, you'll see the order of conditions that you submitted for your particular permit.